What's up, y'all? We're back with another VOD review. I decided just today I was going to do one for basically every mythic boss we kill, at least the ones that I'm in on, which hopefully will be most of them, but we'll see. So this is Nek'zali, the Soulcoiler. We killed it in 3 pulls. I don't think I played particularly well, but this is the first time I'm watching back. So we'll go through, we'll look at what I did, what I can learn from it, what you can learn from it, so that you can play better than I did. Just look at the talents. This was, just the normal stuff. I didn't switch to Shock Pulse. I think maybe you'd want to here. I don't know if it works on the little skeletons, but I think it's probably good if it does. I'll probably try that next week and see if it works. But other than that, nothing too crazy here. Gear, again, it's the same stuff that I had on Heroic Ulatek. So nothing crazy there either. Just 4-piece. Crafted offhand, etc., etc. Still running my gaze of the All-Seer. So we'll go ahead and start. We'll look into it. The main things on Mythic that you need to look out for that are different from Heroic are there's an inside phase, but my raid leader decided not to send me down for that, which I think is the right thing to do. Shadow, you want to stay out. I think if you have like Shadow, Moonkin, maybe Ellie Shaman, maybe not Ellie Shaman, but Shadow, Moonkin, probably Warlock, you don't want to send down for the most part. You want to send a little bit burstier classes and the ones that aren't long range. So the other thing that's important on Mythic compared to Heroic is you definitely want to drop these debuffs all the way on the outside. So I think we get one later on in the fight. You can see me running out and getting a Dispel for that. Nothing too unusual in the opener. The one thing you look out for is you can pot on this, even though we're not lusting the opener. Your lust is like more than 5 minutes in, so you can pot on the opener and pot for lust. Other than that, it's all single target until the ads start spawning. At that point, it's sort of a question on, how much do you want to bother dotting the ads? And I think, looking at the logs, I looked briefly before I did this. I think so yeah, you can see me run out there and call for a Dispel. I think I over dotted the ads. I think like anytime, if we just watch that back real quick, right? So here I am, I run out and look at this whole time, Mind Blast sitting on cooldown. Like running out, yeah, sure. But right now, run out, I should be casting Mind Blast here instead of trying to dot more. Well, Halo, sure. But instead of dotting more stuff, I should cast Mind Blast. And then I can cast BTs if I want to. But I really need to be keeping Mind Blast on cooldown as much. I mean, it's been off cooldown. How long was that between Mind Blast class? So 115. The last one before that was what? Right. Oh my god. I went 25 seconds without casting a Mind Blast? That's why my parse is bad. You guys, don't do that. You can skip your Mind Blast if you're running out to drop your debuff. That's important. You need to drop it on the edge. That was the right thing to do. But after that, like, cast your Halo, but cast a Mind Blast here. Don't wait another 10 seconds because you're dotting the ads. You're losing value. 100%. Don't worry about that. Cast your Mind Blast on the boss. Yeah, I can't be doing that. That's crazy. Sometimes he goes to the middle. Don't stand next to other people here. That's because these circles are sort of baited on people. So stand close enough that you're getting healed, but not super close. The other thing about dotting the ads there is you saw somebody knock one in. I think you don't want ads just dying randomly in far off places. Like, yeah, we need to damage the ads to break the shield so that they can get finished off by physical damage and everyone. But it's not that great if they're dying far off, especially on the edges of the room, because later on we need to burn the corpses. So we kind of want to be closer to the center so that people don't have to run to Timbuktu to burn the corpses. In these phases where the ads weren't spawning, yeah, sure, I did fine, but I think, yeah, definitely overdotting the ads. I mean, yeah, you can drop your tentacle slams on guys. If they're near the boss, I definitely wouldn't manually cast VT on them. Tentacle slam makes sense, but one thing you do want to watch out for if you're going far is, make sure you're not standing too close to the tank. Like there, I moved across, but then I moved back towards the boss, right? Because the closer you are to the tank, the more damage you take from that blast. I think that one was a little bit more reasonable. I don't think I sat on Mind Blast for too long there. So here, Halo, yeah, sure, open Void Form. Yeah, that was fine. That's just your standard start of burst. Then we can do a little bit of dotting. I should have targeted the boss again instead of the ads there. You want to be, you know, making sure you're dotting the ads, but then you want to cast your single target stuff on the boss. Probably should have substituted my boss 2 macro for a boss 1 macro to make sure that I'm back on the boss for my single target stuff. And then after this, I think he does one more grasp, but we didn't send anyone in for that because our goal was just to push before anything bad happened downstairs. So you want to be pushing the boss to 50% right around 3 minutes, so that you don't descend your group in again. And then obviously you can hold this halo for when the guy spawns in the intermission. The intermission, very, very similar to heroic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I held my cooldown here. No, I cast it. I don't know. Yeah, see, he gets... Yeah, there's ads. It's not that bad to cast it there. And then you have your cooldown synced up for your void form. So I think that's fine. Alright, here, dot the ads. Then I didn't do too bad there. And I got my dots up here. That's good. But yeah, you'll see. Yeah, important not to stand in that line there. I'm sure you guys have seen this in your hero groups. 1 or 2 people stands in the line and they get zonked when the soul transfer cast ends. We don't need to worry about standing in the line ever, so it shouldn't be something that happens to you. But yeah, now you can see, you know, they're gonna get the fire thing, and there are corpses that are spread around the room. So I go to soak this one. I think I'm being helpful. You know, it's not that far. You're still in range of the boss. It's a good thing to do. Do it if you can. But like if there were ads that are up against the edge of the room there that we had to soak, that would be a pain for everyone, right? You know, Moonkin's at 45-yard range, but even then, if it was like way out across the room over by purple, that'd be a huge pain. So we don't need to kill the ads ASAP. They just need to die before they get to the middle. And so here, okay, so let's see. VT, Halo, do my burst thingy. This one, depending on your fight timings, you might want to skip this because some people are lusting around 5:30. You'll just have to see what your group is doing. I think on your first pull, go ahead and just send it on cooldown because we lusted around 6 minutes. But I've seen other groups lusting around 5:30. In that case, you might want to skip this one so you have your coolies for during lust. Yeah, and then here, yeah, again, I'm gonna spend like 10 seconds dotting the ads instead of just hitting the boss during void form. Just brutal. Oh my god. Did I cast the Mind Blast? No. Yeah, so okay, it's off cooldown there at 4:15, 4:17, and then okay, I do cast one more. Okay. Right there, I cast one. What was that? 4:35. Okay, and then I start dotting stuff, and then I don't cast one again for a long time. And look, at this point I'm still doing good damage, even though I blew it earlier on. I'm still doing decent damage here, but then I spend, you know, 30 seconds not casting a single Mind Blast, and the whole time I'm plummeting down the meters, right? I was in 3rd, I went down to 5th, barely in 4th right now, but it's not where I was before. Up to 3rd, but it's just a fluke because people haven't popped their cooldowns yet. And then, yeah, here you burn the ads again, but why am I not targeting the boss here, right? I should be on that guy. It is good to be near the center of the room generally. You know, you have to be you'll have to move a little bit more frequently when you're in the center because you're getting stuck to the middle. But it is good, you know, you have better range on the far ads. And then, yeah, once they're on the boss, you know, if you're going for overall damage, you're going to prioritize Void Volley a little bit higher. If you're going for, you know, contributing to your boss's kill, Void Volley should be a low priority. Just sending it before, you know, Mind Flay. Because once the ads are on the boss, they're dying. Here I am. This is not that bad yet. I think that's fine. I think that dotting was fine. I want to get the dots up because now we're about to, yeah, so here we are, 6:18. We're going crazy, and it's perfect timing for us. You know, we sent almost on cooldown, and now everything's up. So Here, hopefully I'm not capped. Yeah, maybe I overcapped a little bit on insanity there. But overall, decent damage on this burn, I think. Back up to third. Yeah, and then I think I probably overdotted a little bit more here than I needed to. If the ads are on top of the boss, I don't think you should be... Like, if they're in grip range, I don't think you should be VTing. They can just get tentacle slammed when they need to. The ones that are across the room, those are the ones you VT. But the ones near the boss, I think that's a waste. So you shouldn't do that. Watch out here. This invoke in the last phase, it will interrupt if you're casting when it ends. So definitely something to look out for. The other thing is I wish we still had Shining Force, right? Because we can't do anything, and then this is where I throw. We'll go back to this. There's nothing we can do once the ads get close, right? Maybe you could shackle, but that seems pointless. But yeah, here I'm trying to play near the middle. This is where it gets risky. I don't know where these debuffs came from. I think maybe they go there naturally. I think they run there, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I think some of the circles move from the edge of the room towards the middle by themselves. Yeah, you can see one do that there. So even if you drop stuff on the edge perfectly, some stuff still goes near the middle of the room. So that's something you need to watch out for in this last phase, because you'll see I get ticked a few times by it, not helping the healers, and then later on near the end, spoiler alert, I'm going to die to it. So it is good to play near the middle so you can dot these ads, but you need to pay better attention to, and here's the invoke again, and yeah, I got interrupted because I wasn't paying proper attention. Yeah, good to play near the middle so you can dot the far ads, but don't get ticked by that ground effect like I did. It's kind of tough to see. Maybe there's better graphics settings, but you need to pay better attention to that than I was. These debuffs don't really seem that, and here I am just going through it again. Just like a total moron. The other thing I was like doing at one point is like I was standing near the skeletons on the ground, but that's pointless too because you can't burn them in this phase. We made a call here to try to burn the boss. It worked. It felt a little bit early because those ads did get scary, but if you have enough DKs, you know, you have control for that. And then, yeah, you can see there, I tanked that thing. There's no reason, and here I am shaking my head. Yeah, there was no reason for that. Like, and the second I did take a tick while the healers were under such stress, I should have obviously just popped a Spurs, which I didn't use once the whole time. Or I think Healthstone or Health Pot. Just a total failure on my part, dying there. I think I was probably just tunneling the boss health or something. I don't know what I was doing. Eye tracker would be useful. But yeah, stupid play. And that's where... Right here, you're in void form. You just popped out your cooldowns. I was like, oh yeah, gonna pump the boss. I should be rising the meters. Instead, I am destroying myself and I die. So yeah, don't do that. Kill the boss. Just make sure you're, yeah, like I said, don't worry about casting single VT on the ads that are near the boss. Make sure you're keeping your Mind Blast on cooldown. Boss damage is important in this fight, especially in the last phase. Ad damage is kind of bad, especially if you have some Moonkins. We can go back on the logs and see who is doing damage to them. They're called Restless Amani. Yeah, this is when they were close though. But yeah, like if you have a Moonkin or two, if you have a Warlock who can do good range stuff, you don't need to stress about the ads. It's good to dot them, but no need to focus on them to the detriment of your single target damage on the boss, because it is important. The other thing to note out, I guess, just while we're here, I don't feel like these debuff alerts are useful at all. It doesn't... None of your decision-making changes based off these debuffs. The big UI things you want to look out for, if there are things you can highlight for yourself, are the invoke cast, because in phase 3 that interrupts, and then potentially yeah, the other thing is to make sure that you have a good alert for when the dot goes out, so you have to run to the edge, right? So like here. I was already moving out. Green. I heard debuff. I was at the edge, and then boom, I can drop it. So make sure you have a good sound alert set up for that debuff, and then make sure you have a good alert for the invoke so you don't get interrupted in phase 3. And do a better job than I did about watching this stuff on the floor. Those are the main things to watch out for in this fight. So that was this fight. We didn't get a chance to pull the turtles this week, but hopefully next week we'll do some turtles. We'll do some robots. Maybe we'll do some Vesh Kali, what's her name? And then potentially Vashnik, and then potentially Sizrak, but I don't think we'll kill that. So hopefully 3 more bosses next week, maybe more, we'll see.